Wait, you need to see this. What happened that night changed everything we know about the connection between animals and humans. And the most incredible part? Doctors still can't fully explain what happened. But before I tell you this jaw-dropping story, do me a favor, like this video right now, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any emotional stories like this one. Trust me, you're gonna want to follow along. The night that changed everything. It was a cold winter night. Sarah was at home with her 3-month-old baby, little Ethan. Like every first-time mom, she was exhausted. She had just put the baby to sleep and finally managed to lie down on the couch for a few minutes. Next to her, as always, was Max, a 6-year-old golden retriever the family had adopted long before the baby was born. Max had always been a calm dog, the kind that spends all day lying on the living room rug. Nothing would move him from his spot. But that night, something was different. Max started getting restless. He got up, went to the baby's room, came back, looked at Sarah, and repeated this movement several times. Sarah thought he just wanted attention and continued resting. And that's when it all happened. The moment no one expected. Suddenly, Ethan started crying. But it wasn't a normal baby cry. It was something different, weaker, more muffled. Sarah jumped up quickly and ran to the bedroom. When she opened the door, what she saw left her frozen. Max was inside the crib, something he had never done before, with his body carefully positioned next to the baby. But that wasn't all. The dog was using his snout to gently turn Ethan's head to the side. And you know what doctors discovered later? The baby was having a severe reflux episode and could have suffocated if he had remained lying on his back in that position. Wait, because this gets even more impressive. The explanation no one could give. Sarah immediately picked up the baby and called emergency services. Paramedics arrived quickly and after examining Ethan, confirmed he was fine, but that the situation could have been much more serious. One of the paramedics, who had over 20 years of experience, looked at Max and said something Sarah will never forget. "I've seen many things in my career, but I've never seen an animal act with this level of precision in a medical emergency. It's as if he knew exactly what to do." When Sarah took the case to the pediatrician the next day, he was equally impressed. The doctor explained that the position Max placed the baby in was exactly what a healthcare professional would do in that situation. But how did a dog know this? And look, if you're finding this story incredible, imagine the others I have to share. Leave your like now to help me spread these emotional stories. The science behind the mystery. Researchers who study animal behavior were fascinated when they heard this story. Some experts even went to Sarah's house to better understand what happened. They discovered that Max had some special characteristics. First, he had an extremely keen sense of smell, even for a dog. Studies show that dogs can detect chemical changes in the human body, including alterations in breathing and heartbeat. Second, Max had developed a deep bond with the baby since Ethan was born. He always slept near the child's room and seemed to be constantly watching over the little one. Third, golden retrievers are known for their intelligence and protective instinct, especially with children. But even with all these explanations, scientists admit there's something magical about the connection between humans and animals that science still can't fully explain. And this leads me to something you need to know. Other stories that will move you. Max and Ethan's story isn't unique. Around the world, there are hundreds of documented cases of animals saving their owners. There's the case of the cat that woke up its owner in the middle of the night because it detected a gas leak. Or the parrot that repeatedly screamed, "Baby, baby," until the parents realized their child was choking in the next room. There's even the report of a rabbit that persistently scratched its owner's leg until she noticed a lump that turned out to be early-stage cancer. These animals are true heroes without capes. And the question remains, do they really understand what they're doing? Or is it pure instinct? Stay with me, because this answer will surprise you. What experts really think. I spoke with several veterinarians and animal behavior specialists to better understand these phenomena. Dr. Amanda Silva, a veterinarian specializing in ethology, explains, animals have sensory capabilities far superior to ours. They can detect minimal changes in the environment, in people, and in other animals. But beyond that, there's a very strong emotional component. Animals that develop deep bonds with their humans demonstrate behaviors that go far beyond basic survival instinct. She continues, what we see in cases like Max's is a combination of heightened sensory ability, emotional intelligence, and a deep affective bond. It's proof that animals are much more complex and conscious than we imagined. And you know what's more incredible? Recent studies show that having an animal at home, especially dogs, can reduce the risk of health problems in babies and young children. But wait, there's more. How Max changed a family's life. After that incident, Sarah's family began to see Max in a completely different way. He was always important to us, says Sarah. But after that night, I realized Max wasn't just a pet. He was a family member in the deepest sense of the word. He had chosen to protect us, especially our baby. Sarah says she started paying more attention to Max's behavior, and she noticed he had small signs that showed when something wasn't right. A different restlessness, a fixed stare, an unusual insistence. I learned to trust his instincts, she reveals, and that has saved us a few times since then. Little Ethan, now 3 years old, and Max are inseparable. The boy says Max is his best protector friend. And this is the most beautiful part of all. The lesson we all need to learn. This story teaches us something fundamental. We need to pay more attention to our animals. They're constantly communicating with us, but we don't always understand the signs. When your dog acts strangely, it might just be a whim, or it could be something much more important. Animals have an ancient wisdom, a connection with the world that we modern humans often lose. They live in the present, pay attention to details, and respond to their instincts without questioning. And maybe we should learn from them. Now tell me something important. Why these stories matter. You might be wondering, why share these stories? What do they really mean? The truth is that in a world increasingly connected digitally and disconnected emotionally, these stories remind us of what really matters. They show us there is love, protection, and genuine connection between different species. They prove we're not alone, and more importantly, they encourage us to treat our animals not as objects or entertainment, but as the conscious, sensitive, and protective beings they truly are. Every animal has a story. Each one has a purpose in the lives of the people they choose to love. And speaking of which, what you can do today. If you have an animal at home, stop now and observe them. Really observe. Pay attention to the small details of their behavior. Thank them for their presence in your life, because believe me, they do much more for us than we'll ever know. And if you don't have an animal yet, but always wanted one, maybe this is your calling. There are thousands of animals in shelters waiting for a family, waiting for the chance to be heroes in someone's life. You could be the person who changes an animal's life, and that animal might end up saving yours. Before I finish, I need to ask you something. Share this message. If this story touched your heart, share it with others. Tag that friend who loves animals or that person who needs to hear this message today. Leave your like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on notifications to receive all the emotional stories I share here. And most importantly, tell me in the comments, do you have a similar story? Has your animal ever done something you can't explain? Have you ever felt that your pet protected you or alerted you to something important? I really want to know your story. Because at the end of the day, these stories connect us. They remind us that despite all our differences, we all share love for these incredible beings who share their lives with us. Max and Ethan continued together, growing side by side,
And Sarah says she'll never again underestimate the power of the connection between humans and animals. And you? Will you start paying more attention to your four-legged companion? Leave your answer down below. I'm waiting to read every comment. Big hug, and see you in the next incredible story. P.S. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, I bring real stories of hero animals that will make you believe in unconditional love. See you in the next video.